Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be looking at this very special tier 1 tank. We're going to talk about it, and yeah, we're just going to have a look at it in a training room and then talk about it a little bit more. So, of course, we are talking about the Mark 1 Heavy. Are we ever going to see this tank return to the game? Now, we know that this tank was part of an event, so Wargaming bought it in as part of an event. So basically it was 100 years after the war. So to mark the anniversary, they got the Mark 1 Heavy, which is basically Britain's first ever tank. You know, you can see this tank in Bovington Tank Museum, and it is actually very cool. But yeah, to see this tank in the game, are we going to do it? Are we ever going to see this tank in the game? Now, back then, when it was part of the event, a lot of people were frustrated because back then, people cared about mastery badges. They really did care about mastery badges. Now, some people played this tank. I think it was only available for a week or 2 weeks, something like that. And if you played the tank, it went towards your stats. Now, if you didn't ace this tank, if you didn't get that golden mastery badge before the tank was removed, then you basically you have got no choice. Like, you've got no choice. And you can never ace it. You're never going to be able to ace this tank ever. Is that going to change? Are Wargaming going to bring this tank back? So I mean, the stat wise, to be fair, there's no point looking at the stats because it is a tier 1 tank. So yeah, you got no armor. You got DPM is very low for what it. I mean, it's a tier 1 tank after all. What you do have is HE, and you do have AP. So you got 2 rounds. Where nowadays tier 1s normally only have just the 1 round. So yeah, those are the stats. But yeah, there's overall, there's no point looking into the stats. So let's just get into a training room. I mean, we're just going to create training room, blah. We don't care. Random map. Yes, it might not let me play because my signal is actually very bad where I'm at. But I'm going to pause it just until we can try to get into a battle. So we finally get into a game. Literally, it took me about 10 minutes. So the main question people are going to be asking, especially the long-term players, the players that have been around for a very long time, the players that have played this tank. And as you can see, my signal, my ping is over 2,000, 3,000. So yeah, unfortunately, I might not even be able to play this because of my signal is just too bad where I am. But it's okay because we're not really looking at playing the tank anyway. So it's just going crazy. So yeah, the players that have played this tank a long time ago, the biggest question for them, is this tank going to return? Because they really want to ace this. Are Wargaming going to introduce an event again that has this tank? Well, I can confirm, I know absolutely nothing. The last time I spoke to Wargaming, which was probably a couple of years, maybe last year, about this tank. I think it was actually a couple of years ago. I questioned them about the tank, and one of my questions was, is it in the making? You know, is there plans? Is there going to be plans to release this tank again? Maybe not permanently. You know, it would be nice if they did release it permanently. Just like the MS1, you know, they bring back the MS1 that was tier 2 and they gave it to people. You know, something like that I would think would be absolutely amazing. It would be great if they did do that. Oh my God, I'm one of those noobs. Yeah, you see go up a wall. This is, yeah, I do apologize for my signal, but it doesn't change. I'm not really going to do anything. I can still press the fire button at least, and you can still see the tank. But yeah, so back then when I did ask Wargaming, is there plans to release this tank again? Their answer was basically no. They at that point, there was no plans to ever release this tank again. Now, don't take that as a no, because, you know, sometimes plans change. And when I asked them at that moment in time, they had no plans. Nowadays, you know, this time, there might be plans. A year later, 2 years later, there might be plans to release this. But at the time of asking Wargaming, there was literally no plans to release this tank again. But I hope they do change their mind, because I do think Wargaming need to release this tank again. It's been such a long time. I can't even remember how long. Maybe it was 2014, something like that. So yeah, a very, very long time ago. Very long time ago. And they definitely need to release this tank again, whether it be permanently or another event. I don't think there should be an event, because of course the event was to mark the anniversary of the war, 100 years. Now, they're not going to do that again, so I definitely think they need to just release the tank. I don't think they should sell it. I think they should just gift it to people, whether it be a tier 1 or a tier 2, you know, push it up to a tier 2. I really don't care. But yeah, one thing's for sure is they should release it. They need to release it. It's been such a long time since this tank was released that they do need this tank in the game once again. It's been so long. And I hope they do. I really do hope they release this tank in the game again. Now, one thing that I always keep positive about the tank is we have it on our press accounts. Wargaming allow it on our press accounts. They've never removed it. It's always been on our press accounts. They allow us to join training rooms on it. We can't join a normal game, because if you remember, if you was around when the event was around, you could only get into a game with this tank. You couldn't join a random game. So it was always a 7 versus 7 Mark 1 heavies. That is all it was on one map. I can't remember if it's Fort Despair or something like that. But yeah, it was just one map, one tank, no other tank that was you would be able to join a battle. So they would need to change that into the matchmaking sort of thing with the tank. But who knows? And you know, who knows if this tank is ever going to be released again? I hope so. Do you guys hope this tank is released? Would you get it? Have you played it and did not ace it? Excuse me. Luckily for me, I did get the mastery badge, so for me, I'm not overly bothered, but for the wider community, for them, I do hope it is released once again. Do you want this tank released? Let me know in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. Sorry about my my ping. I do apologise. It's actually seemed to get a little bit better now. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Do you want this tank released again? Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Meadsy, and I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye.